One of the hardest financial transitions that you'll go through is the passing away of your spouse. Financially creates a lot of havoc. Here's a step-by-step guide of what you need to do financially if your spouse passes away. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so somber video today, but extremely important. And that is, if you find yourself in a circumstance where your spouse passes away, emotionally, it's just awful, devastating. Can't fathom, can't imagine. We've served lots of folks through that awful transition in their life. And so as difficult as it is emotionally, it can be very difficult as well financially. And oftentimes if the spouse that passed away is the one that was primarily in charge of the finances, the surviving spouse is lost and family members are having to step in and trying to figure it out. And so to me, proper planning proactively all along the way, I mean, that is the solution. Doing comprehensive financial planning and having everything organized and set up and structured properly so that if something happens, even if it's sudden and way too early, there's a proper plan in place. Now, this video is no substitute for that, but I'm going through this very instance with a dearly loved client and someone that our firm has served for over a decade. And walking through these steps with them, I thought, wow, I mean, obviously very difficult situation, but these are the steps I'm going through, and I wanted to share that with you in case that helps you as you're helping a family member or someone going through a similar situation. So again, this is no substitute for comprehensive financial planning, but here are the steps that I've gone through, that I'm going through right now with a widow when after her spouse suddenly, tragically passed away at the beginning of this year. So the first thing that you need to do is triage. And I know that's a medical term and conjures up maybe some emotions, but you've got to look for, okay, where is the urgent need? Is there an urgent need? One of the biggest mistakes that people make during this transition is they try to make really big financial decisions really quickly. Listen, you are not in an emotional stable state to make these big permanent financial decisions. You want to make as few financial decisions as possible right away, early on, but the very first step is you've got to assess where there's urgency. Hopefully there isn't any, but if there's a bill due or if there's some other urgency in your financial life, sometimes this could be just paying for the funeral, paying for the service, something like that, but assess where there's urgency and address that with a financial professional. Hopefully there's very little urgency or no urgency, but that's step one. Step two is critical, and that is get a clear financial inventory. Now, ideally, this is set up in advance, and this is one of the reasons we strongly recommend you need comprehensive financial planning, because at all times you'll have this full working financial inventory. But if you don't have that, you've got to get that set up immediately, and that is, all right, what are the income sources and amounts? What are the assets and amounts, and where are they? What are the liabilities? How much is owed? How much and where? Okay, and then insurances. What insurances are in place at which companies and for how much and who's the beneficiary? You need to get organized. Get your financial life all organized. There's all sorts of different moving pieces. Got this bank account, Social Security, this pension, this income. We've got insurance here, insurance there, all this sort of stuff, and you've got to organize it in one spot so you've got a full working inventory, full visibility of where you're at financially. Now, again, this is something that throughout the financial planning process, you're going to update, your CFP is going to update for you once a year at least, and take a look and have a full balance sheet or net worth, but also, income statement and insurance statements, that sort of thing, so that your entire financial inventory is clear. You can see it's organized. Where is your money? Where do you have assets? What are your income sources? Where are your insurances? How much? All of that should be organized so that when you pass away, there's no scrambling to try to come up with this and do the detective work, as many people say. It's already built, it's already there, okay? So this second step is either creating that, which if it's not already there, is going to take a lot of detective work, looking at taxes, okay, oh, we had a 1099 from this company, let's call them, and all sorts of stuff, right? That can be very, very complicated and convoluted. Or hopefully, if you don't have to recreate it, you find that inventory and you're able to work off of that. As part of this financial inventory, I can't stress enough the importance of having a password manager, a secure password manager, especially if the individual that passed away was the one that was primarily in charge of the finances. They probably know all the logins and where everything is, and you probably don't have any of that information. Having an electronic password storage system or password manager like a LastPass, something like that, that you know how to access to as well, is going to be so helpful as you're building that inventory, or at least getting updates on values or being able to do anything from those assets, okay? So I would suggest that. I'm going to do a video, there's going to be an upcoming video about how that works and what to consider with that, but I would want to make that note there. All right, now once you've dealt with the urgent items, once you've triaged and built your full financial inventory so you know all sources of income, where everything is, then the third step is to reorganize, retitle, and transfer assets into your name. Get them out of the deceased individual's name. This also involves, we'll go step by step here. Looking at the various income sources, which of them will stop immediately that you then need to replace, which of them have a beneficiary where that income will continue for the rest of your life as well, pensions maybe, or in a way, Social Security. So looking at that. Assets, this is making sure that the dollars transition from that deceased individual being the owner to you being the owner now. Hopefully you're that beneficiary, so that's transferring or retitling. But then it's also looking at life insurance as well and filling out those forms to collect, as the beneficiary, collect that death benefit, getting all of that process underway. Now, life insurance and getting those death benefits, that can take a couple of months for you to actually get all the documents and then submit them and then receive a check in the mail, something like that, or receive a form. How do you want the check? Do you want payment? Blah, blah, blah. That's a topic for a different video as well. But that can take a few months, maybe even 4 or 5 months, depending on the company. Transitioning assets from one owner to another should be fairly simple for both the life insurance and for transitioning assets and bank accounts. You'll need a death certificate as well. But hopefully, if there are beneficiaries listed and all of that was clear, that would take maybe a month or so working with the right professionals. But this next step is reorganizing all of that and retitling so that it's no longer, the assets are no longer in the deceased individual's name, and going through all the beneficiary forms to make sure life insurance starts getting paid out and accounts get transitioned into your name. While that is happening, because I mentioned that can take a few months depending on the circumstances, but while that's happening, you then need to start the process for the next step, and this one will take a while as well, and that is build out your 3 bank account system. Life is different. Financially, things are different now after your spouse has passed away. So you've got to reset and take a look, like I said, through that inventory, what are your income sources? But this 3 bank account system is then looking and saying, all right, what are your immediate monthly spending needs? What are your immediate spending needs that come up every single month? So this is any loans, mortgages, that sort of stuff, fixed expenses, but also variable expenses, grocery store, shopping, putting gas in the tank, that sort of stuff, okay? So you've got to look and say, how much are you spending on a monthly basis, and work with your CFP to make sure you've got the right amount of income coming in to manage each and every month. Then you've got to look at what expenses, what bills, what spending will happen, not every month, but on a periodic basis, a sporadic basis even, that you can plan ahead for. The individual I'm working with right now says, yeah, we've got a daughter getting married later this year. Well, we're going to need to set some money aside. So this second bank account of the 3 bank account system is delayed spending. That's identifying what expenses are going to come up out there in the future that I need to be prepared for right now or setting dollars aside. These things could be as short term as vacations or car repairs, or could be longer term like a wedding coming up, or we want to move, or I want to buy a new car in the next couple of years. Considering all of that and getting a plan for how much money needs to be set aside, not in the checking account, but in a separate savings account, so that when these events come up, you've got the cash available to cover them. And then the third bank account in the 3-bank account system is, all right, how much do you need to have set aside in a cash reserves, an emergency fund, something like that, that if something unexpected comes up financially, you've got enough liquid cash, liquid resources available to you, and where should that account be? So that's the 3-bank account system. That can be done in tandem with that restructuring and retitling and reorganization. But that process of how much will you spend and what expenses are upcoming on the horizon, that sort of stuff, that may take a little bit of time as well. Work with your CFP to get that set up. And then finally, you're still grieving. You're still going through the emotional, difficult process of grieving, but you've addressed what's urgent. Okay, you've created that inventory so there's no surprises. You can see everything financially. You've begun the process, or hopefully completed the process, of retitling and reorganizing, restructuring, and transferring all the investments and the benefit and the life insurance, all that sort of stuff. And you've got a well laid out 3-bank account system that's managing cash flow both on a monthly basis, on an annual basis, and for emergencies. Then after that, you can recalibrate. And what are your long-term goals? That last step is recalibrate for your long-term planning, your long-term goals. Trust me, as you go through this process, depending on your stage of life, but I just know it's going to be difficult for you to create long-term goals, and that's okay. Be patient in this process. But that long-term goal, that figuring that out, will help you know how to invest long-term dollars and help you build out, well, should you be saving more? Do you need to save more? What adjustment? Do you need to make some cuts in your budget? That sort of thing. So be patient with that process, but once you've got all those other steps in place, that final step is recalibrating for long-term planning. I hope that process helps you. It's just awful when you're going through this transition, or when you're helping someone go through this transition. I can't stress enough the need for a guide, the need for a certified financial planner who maybe is sad and has a lot of empathy, but is not grieving the way that you are. And someone that's gone through this 100 times in the past working with other clients, and then can help you walk through these steps and navigate these steps to also provide that clarity and confidence, but also seek creativity to help you get things reset up in the right way for you, taking advantage of tax planning opportunities, getting your own estate plan restructured and set up correctly, all of that sort of stuff. So work with the CFP, make sure that CFP is doing comprehensive financial planning. If you don't have a CFP on your team that can help you with that, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com, you can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.